This is Matt from Artsway, your equipment support technician. Artsway's no-fuss forage box has features to make maintenance easier. When your forage box doesn't operate, make sure the safety valve is in the down position. Your safety valve is activated by either pushing the safety guard or pulling on the string. The optional gate delay on our forage box allows the door to stay open when rear unloading for a better cleanout. On our rear unload forage boxes, our rear latches create a positive lock, not allowing forage out the back of the machine. After use and before the end of the season, before storing, open the cleanout door, remove debris to prevent rust and corrosion in your box. A properly maintained forage box, you will check for leaks on all the motors and gearboxes, making sure that the hardware is tight and that the units are not leaking. Use your sight glass to check the oil levels. An important tip is to check your gearbox oil level every 50 loads, topping off with 75 W90 when needed. Artsway's in-cab control forage box has a high-pressure filter that gets replaced every 12 months or when the indicator turns red. Grease your forage box regularly and often to prevent unneeded wear. There are 12 grease zerks on your forage box, 4 on the lower sprockets, 3 on the chain bushings, 3 more on the front of the machine on the chain bushings, and then 2 at the top of the door. Proper greasing prevents premature wear on forage box components. For heavy use applications, grease often. Alignment of the sprockets and the chain need to be maintained for proper chain wear. Make sure your set screws are tight and the chains are aligned. When checking chain alignment, use a straight edge across the face of the sprockets, loosening the set screws and adjusting accordingly. A key point with your front or combo forage box is to keep proper alignment and tension of your beater chains. Chain tension is maintained by the UHMW rolls. After the first few loads, the chain wears into the roller and will need to be retightened again. Chain deflection is a 1/2 inch max. Maintaining proper tension on your chains is the #1 priority for unloading your forage. In doing so, there are 4 tensioner bolts on the back of the machine. Maintaining 1 inch clearance between the bottom and the chain is a priority. Adjusting chain tension is done by adjusting the 4 bolts with a 3/8 inch Allen wrench. Check your chain tension to make sure that the distance between the left side and the right side of each chain is even to promote even wear. A decal on the side of the forage box has been placed as a friendly reminder for the chain tension that needs to be maintained. In doing so, it gets checked in the center of the machine. The frame slides to the chain needs to be maintained at 1 inch. Another friendly reminder decal is put on the cross conveyor to remind you that the tension needs to be 1/2 inch from the bottom tray up to the chain. Adjusting happens on the side. When adjusting chain tension of the cross conveyor, loosen the 4 bolts, 2 on each side of the bearing mount, and adjust with the threaded rod behind it, maintaining even pressure and even distance on either side of the chain. When operating your forage box in the front unload capacity, there's a 5 to 7 second delay when pressing the outfeed open button. In doing so, no other functions are able to happen until that completes. You can then press your cross conveyor on and then start your beaters and then start your front unload. The speed settings by default are 40% up to 100% at 10. Adjusting so adjusts the speed of your apron chain. Power needs to be maintained above 12 volts on the screen so that the solenoids function properly. If you have issues, check your battery, check your alternator, and check your connections on your tractor. If you have broken your cord between your module and your forage box, Do not connect the module to the orange connection, as it'll cause issues. If your module or wiring has issues, you can manually run your solenoids with the connections on the box. In the event of a CAN bus or controller failure, unplug all of the harnesses from the manifold to the control block. To operate emergency rear unload, plug into SV2, SV5, the switched power harness. Make sure that the switch is off. Then apply hydraulic power. Press the on button and the unit will unload. In the event of an emergency and you need to front unload from rear unload emergency, unplug SV2 and SV5. Start by plugging in DCV bottom, pushing the on button to lower the chute. Press the off button, remove your connections, plug in PFR and SV4. Take another cable, plug it into your constant power, plug it in to SV1 and SV3. When plugging in SV1 and SV3 to constant, your cross conveyor and beaters will automatically engage. Your on-off button will run your apron chain at full speed, so be careful. Toggle the on-off switch slowly to move the load forward into the beaters. Once you have unloaded all your forage, remove the connections. And plugged a switched power to your DCV top. Activating the switch will raise your cross conveyor. When operating your forage box in emergency mode, run your hydraulic flow in low or a quarter of the capacity. Also remove electronic and hydraulic power when changing solenoids. If you are not using our in-cab control hydraulics, we have a manually lever-operated manifold that gets put on the front of the box. Before applying hydraulic power to the manifold, move the lever to rear unload, apply hydraulic power, and slowly move the lever to unload. When front unloading with the manual lever manifold, before you activate your hydraulics, shift to the front, activate your hydraulics, use the upper valve to open your conveyor. Once it's open, start shifting your valves slowly to activate your cross conveyor, your beaters, and then your main apron chain. Your speed for your apron chain is adjusted with the knob on the side. One thing we have done is sequence the valves so that you can't activate one prior to the other one. After you have finished front unloading, slowly close the valves in reverse order. Close the chute. For more information on the Artsway product, contact your dealer or us at artsway.com, because together, that's how work gets done.